Hey everyone, and welcome to another Valiant PSA. Today's subject is lower wisdom tooth removal. For those of you who may know or may not know, a few months ago, back in February, I believe, I had my upper wisdom teeth removed, and I said that my dentist had told me I would need to get my lowers removed at some point. And basically, this is that follow-up video. You know, kind of just a benchmark for what you may expect to deal with in terms of, you know, getting your wisdom teeth removed. And I hope it helps, or I hope it's like interesting and makes you think, and I give you a few good tips and tricks and ideas for dealing with it. But regardless, you know, let's talk about it. I guess the first thing that I have to establish is, why did I get them pulled? You know, obviously you're not going to walk into your dentist's office and say, hey, would you mind just taking teeth out of my skull for no reason? But like, you know, I'm doing this mainly to establish, if they tell you to, obviously they should tell you the reason, like, hey, you know, for me it was, your teeth are like sideways and impacted, and eventually they would just, you know, break down into cavities. And, you know, like holes in your teeth, and, you know, bacteria and food and stuff get in there, and that was all they said to me. You know, my logical conclusion from that was, you know, bacteria gets into my jaw. Bad things could happen there. So basically, you know, came to the logical conclusion of, if I do this, I'm not going to have to deal with, you know, getting my jaw reconstructed or whatever later. I'm getting a cool iron jaw like that guy from One Piece, Lockjaw Morgan. Yeah, East Blue reference. God, I'm a nerd. Whatever. But, so obviously there's going to be a reason that you're going to get your wisdom teeth removed. And, secondly, while I'm on this, I would like to stress that, you know, upper and lower, it might be a bit different. It at least was in my case. You know, the uppers, honestly, within like a day or so, I was pretty much back to normal. My lowers, you know, it took me a few days to get back to normal. You know, I talked to a few other people who had theirs done. One of my buddies, like, I had mine on Monday, November 27th, and then my buddy had his removed on, like, the Friday following that. I was like, yeah, by about Thursday or Friday, you know, like, I was pretty much back to normal. I could eat, for the most part, most of the solid foods that I wanted. Like, there's some things that I was still avoiding. But him, yeah, no, about, like, within a day or so, I was fine. It's like, are you kidding me? You get good in a day. Like how I was with my uppers. Because I think he said he had 3 teeth removed, so like upper and lower, I believe. But yeah, I have to wait at least 3 days. I hate you guys. So for real, if you get your lower wisdom teeth removed after me, don't tell me, yeah, Brett, I was good within a day. You're an idiot. Or just you know, I was good within a day, because I will be so mad at you. I'll just be like, are you kidding me? I had to wait 3 days? But, regardless. So, you know, there's going to be a reason you're going to get your teeth removed. And, you know, it may take you a day to recover, it may take you a few days to recover. So, just bear that stuff in mind. But, and really quick, the actual procedure, you know, my dentist had recommended an oral surgeon to me, because, he didn't feel comfortable pulling the teeth himself. And then he eventually moved on to a different practice, like more in the southern part of Ohio. So, you know, I talked to a new dentist. And actually backtracking again a bit more, my original dentist, Dr. Puwali, you know, had said, you know, as long as they're not bothering you, I wouldn't worry about the lower wisdom teeth so much. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And then I talked to my new dentist, and, you know, basically, you know, he said mostly the same things, but he also mentioned, you know, if I didn't get it taken care of, you know, root canal. I don't exactly know what that is. I know it's the worst thing ever, and it takes like 2 hours. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get, my wisdom teeth removed. Because it was under an hour, and, yeah, I was out for the whole thing. It was awesome. So, just saying, if you don't do it, you might have to deal with a root canal. Probably should have stressed that earlier, huh? Oops. But, whatever. So, what happened? Like, how did the procedure go? Basically, set the appointments, went to the oral surgeon, we talked through the thing, we got x-rays, we looked at them. Basically, one of the things that made mine potentially a bit more complicated was the fact that I think it was the left lower wisdom tooth was a bit closer to a nerve for the lower lip and jaw, as well as it was a bit closer to the bone. So I'm glad my original dentist was like, hey, I don't feel comfortable doing this. Because it was a bit more technical. Because, I'm not even kidding, for the uppers, it was, okay, we know the crap out of you, and then take a pair of pliers and pull them out, which was fine. I mean, like, I was numb for it, so it was fine. Lower, it's a bit more this was a bit more complicated. But, let's see, looking at my notes, afterward, I was given some quick time to rest up, about 15-20 minutes or so. Then I had my bride, Patrick, by the way, thank you, Pat. Not only is he my executive producer, he's also that guy that I have to ask for rides generally. Yeah. Because that's one of the other things with this. If, you're having wisdom teeth removed, you're probably going to need a ride. Well, because my oral surgeon was like, your ride person has to be in the office the whole time, and da-da-da-da. So, unless you can figure a ride, you might have an issue. Just saying. And, if you're local enough to me, let me know. Maybe I can help you out with that. If you don't have other people to give you rides. Don't make me number one. I do enough driving as it is. But yeah, so basically, went through everything. They gave me a couple of prescriptions. A couple, I'm going to stress that in a minute. Basically, one was pain meds, the other was an antibiotic. It's hard to say words sometimes still. But, yeah. So, I go to my local pharmacy, I get this stuff filled, I come back home, I'm just chilling and relaxing pretty much for the next couple days, taking pain meds as necessary, following the directions on the bottle. I stress that because it's very important. And, for the first couple days, I didn't really eat a whole lot. I ate mostly soft stuff. I'm talking applesauce, yogurt, ice cream, actually, too. And one of my buddies made the weird suggestion of mashed potatoes. I didn't really eat those as much for the first few days, but it's an idea. And also, I know for a fact that they have, the Easy Mac things, like little cup things where you just pour in the water and then poof, you make mashed potatoes in the microwave. Because I'm actually staring at one right now on my shelf that I bought a few months ago. I hope it didn't expire. But, yeah, so that's tip number one. Have soft foods for at least a couple of days. Actually, that should be tip number two. Tip number one should be... God, I'm bad at this. But, tip number one should definitely be, take that day off for sure. And probably next, 1 to 2 days, to make sure that you recover well. Because, you don't want to go into work with tooth pain. I know somebody who did that, and, from what they said of the experience, my hat's off to them. I don't think I could have done it. I know when I had the kidney stone thing pop up, I was very impaired in doing my job. I was much slower, and I don't know how the heck I got myself to the hospital. But yeah. Yeah. So let's see. Okay. I also want to talk about, another big post-surgery thing. Your jaw is going to bleed because obviously you have, you had stuff taken out of it. So they gave me gauze to try and put in the, gaps that I had now. Uppers, it was easier. Lowers, my gag reflex, which is very strong apparently. As in, like, oh hey, I'm like, I literally am holding pen or something in my mouth for whatever reason for like a bit too long. I'm gagging on it. It's terrible. But so I couldn't do that. So what I did, no joke, I had some bottles of water with me, and I rinsed my mouth out and I spit out the blood. It was gross. And it's terrible. But yeah, so that's one thing you're gonna have to deal with is bloody drool. Also drooling a lot because your lips all puffy because it's still, numbed. Oh God. And then yeah. The only other big thing, after dealing with, bloody drool and all that was just, taking time to recover. And then once I got back to eating solid foods, the most annoying, frustrating thing that I had to deal with was, small food bits getting caught, in the sides of my jaw and, in the gap. Ugh. And luckily, 2 weeks later, I saw my dentist, my regular dentist finally, and they actually gave me an awesome suggestion. I talked to them and they gave me a small syringe. My medical expert friend, Heather, told me that this is a curved tipped syringe. Basically, it's got the little plunger thing, you pull it back to absorb liquid, and it's got this little thing on the front. It's not a needle, it is just a little plastic thing to transfer liquid. Just to be 100% clear on what this syringe is. My dentist gave it to me, and basically she said, okay, you fill it with water, with warm water, warm salt water, because it helps deal with bacteria and stuff. And you just, spray it, into your mouth. The way I've been doing it was, into the gap area itself. Honestly, it does sting a bit, but that might also be because I'm putting in a bit more salt than it probably should be. But, basically, it will wash out the food bits and stuff like that. And very important, do this over the sink. Because, obviously, hey, there's excess water in your mouth, it's going to spill out. So, you don't want to do that on the nice carpet, or whatever. So, bear that in mind. Actually, that's one of my tips and tricks for dealing with the, surgery stuff. And I've already talked about a lot of them, but I'll go over them again really quick, just so we can actually have them numbered and stuff. So, the tips and tricks that I have for you. Number one, if you can, request a couple of days off work. Maybe like my buddies, who I'm still mad at. Oh, hey, I'm good in a day. Or maybe you'll be Brad, and it's going to take you a few days to get back to 100% of normal. Or 85%, like I felt like by Thursday. So, I would say let's say your surgery's on Monday. Just example. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday I could have made it in, but I also work at 5 a.m. a lot. And honestly, Thursday was the first day where I slept the most at night. Literally, I would sleep at about midnight-ish and get up at about 5:36. It sucked. But Thursday, I got to sleep in until 8 a.m. So, number one, take a few days off if possible. Number two, have the soft foods. Again, yogurt, applesauce, ice cream. Mashed potatoes, I guess. Again, I don't know. Because you're not going to want to chew, obviously, because your jaw, it hurts. Literally, give you another example. Tuesday, I tried eating bread. You know, it was a croissant thing that I got from work because I love croissants because they're so good. Anyway, I couldn't do it. I got through part of it, you know, and it took me a while, and I was just like, I can't do it. It's too hard. It's too challenging, I mean. It was still soft and buttery, and I couldn't chew it. So, have the soft stuff, as well as, you know, having mouthwash, you know, and, you know, potentially some salts to make some, like, saltwater rinses. Because that'll definitely help. That'll definitely help you out. Because, as I stressed before, you know, my one dentist, you know, gave me the syringe to rinse out food bits, but also Dr. Buali, before, you know, he moved on to another area, you know, had made the suggestion too, you know, because salt water is a good rinse thing, you know, kills bacteria and such. So bear that in mind. Oh yeah, and that was actually number 3, was mouthwash and saltwater rinse. And then, you know, tip number 4, you know, it might take you some time to heal. It might take you a day. It might take you 2 to 3 days. Bear that stuff in mind. It might not feel great, but trust me, like I said, you know, my dentist told me it would have eventually turned into cavities and stuff, and that's bad. So, a little pain now, you know, is going to be a lot better than a lot of pain later. You know, it's preventative maintenance, essentially. And, you know, as long as you keep your, you know, pain meds and your antibiotics in your system, you're good. And also, really quick, just another quick anecdote about that. I didn't realize I had any antibiotics in with my prescription stuff for like the first 2 days. And on the pill bottle, it says you have to take, you know, one tablet 4 times a day. So it took me a bit longer to get through all that stuff. So it also stressed, you know, like, make sure you finish this off, and I did. But so if you get prescriptions filled, make sure there's not 2 in there and not just 1. That's important. But yeah. And then another big thing, and this is just a general thing, you know, don't push yourself for sure that first day after you do this. You know, I work retail, I lift heavy boxes, and I was glad I got those days off, because, you know, if you exert yourself too much, it can potentially open up stitches, just in general surgeries. But in this one, you don't want to be bleeding from the mouth. I'm just saying. And one other thing to definitely be aware of are dry sockets. These are very extremely painful things that suck and can potentially happen. If you're going through extreme pain and your pain meds aren't helping, get a hold of your doctor or dentist ASAP. I was fortunate I didn't have to go through that. And if I remember right, my one friend I talked about earlier did. And again, you know, all respect to him for getting through that stuff. It's hard. But, you know, medical tech is there, so it's not as common a thing, but again, if you're in extreme pain, you know, and pain meds aren't helping, get to a doctor, dentist, whatever. And in relation to that also, I've heard to avoid using straws. They can help contribute to dry socket. I don't know how, because I don't entirely know dry socket, but just follow that advice. Like about a week or so after, you know, I tried a straw for the first time, and I was fine. Again, just avoid straws as long as possible, I would suggest. I feel like this should be a joke, but I got nothing for that. And then again, really quick, another nice little helpful thing, syringes. You know, it doesn't have to be curved tip, just something to like get liquid, you know, and rinse out your jaw. I would bet you can easily find these at like your local pharmacy, you know, or, you know, your Walmart, Kmart, Target stores, like in the pharmacy area. If not, you know, talk to somebody in the area. Maybe they can help you out. You know, ask for syringe, not needle. that was one of the things, and literally I had to post this thing on Facebook and be like, just so I know, what is this called? Because I thought syringes were like, needles and stuff. I guess not. And then really quick, I guess final conclusion. I don't really have much else to say for you guys. Eat soft foods, settle in post-surgery, take it easy, and eventually you will recover. If you have the dry socket thing, again, talk to your dentist, doctor as soon as possible. You're going to be in extreme pain and it's going to suck if you are going through that. If not, awesome, and I'm happy for you. And one of the best things for recovery, honestly, is just going to be time. Some of my suggestions for making time pass: number one, sleep if you can. I slept during the day sometimes when I could, a few hours. The second thing, is maybe hot showers. Again, it feels like 5 minutes in the shower is really 15 to 20 minutes in real time, and that's something. I don't know, just a thought. Otherwise, if you have other questions about getting wisdom teeth pulled and such, talk to your dentist, not me. I am not a medical professional, and I'm just relaying my personal experiences, which, again, I would like to stress, were slightly different than my friend's personal experiences. So your experience might be different than mine. Bear that in mind. You could be done in a day. You could be done in 3 days like I was. Or, I really hope not, you could be done in longer. I don't know. I'm trying not to scare you also. My point is, you can get through it and everything will be fine. I believe in you. I believe in, doctors and medicine and stuff like that. And yeah. So, if you do have to have your lower wisdom teeth removed, I wish you the best of luck with that. If you want to see my bit about, my upper wisdom teeth being removed, or my experience with kidney stones, because screw kidney stones, freaking, sorry. I will post those links in the description below, because you might have to deal with that stuff as well at some point. And again, maybe hearing about somebody who's gone through it, it might give you some ease. I hope it does. Yeah, so, and that, everyone, have fun, stay safe, keep hydrated, and I, Valiant James, will catch you next time. Peace.